Hello guys, and thank you for joining me. I am Susie and this is my YouTube channel, Susie Official. If you're watching me through my website, thank you so much. Namaste, susieofficial.com. I'm about to launch it next month during my birthday, so keep yourself in the loop and informed of what's coming next. But today, what I want to talk to you about is the rebuilding of the current systems that we have built all around us. First of all, my argument, I'm a millennial, borderline but millennial after all, and we have been criticized of being a generation that lacks commitment or engagement in today's current events. However, I divert from that opinion and I actually think that millennials are the future of society. I think that we are at a diversion right now between the ones that want to keep the systems of the past and the ones that want to leap into the new systems and rebuilding from what we have already and reassessing every single system of that. This is the segment 1 of my blog. Today I was watching one of the videos of Dr. Wayne, and he was arguing that one of the best systems that he's been immersed into or like in touch with, AA meetings, AA meetings. And you wonder, why is that? Well, because it's a community founded upon helping each other get out of a moment in the life where everything is falling apart. So segment 1 of my video has to do with the political system. Why does it have to change and how does that look like? I don't have all the answers, but what is happening with the elections around the world, starting with the one in the United States, and with the outcome and the questions, I do see a part of break. The political system is not working anymore, and we are finding that out. We want to hold our representatives more accountable. We want them to truly represent us. What I see as the hope is that more and more millennials and other people in society, other generations, are getting more involved in the political system. Number one, we change the systems that put in danger democracy as it is. And I'm not even sure that democracy is the political system that we need to pursue. I am more of a person that thinks about the freedom of the people when they're enabled with resources to pursue their dreams and to have a basic, dignified life, provide a level of wellness. One of the things that has to change in the political system is the gerrymandering. Gerrymandering. In the process of setting electoral districts, gerrymandering is a practice intended to establish a political advantage for a particular party or group by manipulating district boundaries. A situation that we have going on in the States, and I know that in other parts of the world also exists. I personally think in the United States one vote should equal one vote regardless of the population number of the state, but that's something for another blog and video. I think we need a political system that allows and encourages people to get involved, to be connected with representatives. Nowadays we're seeing that the connection or the contact is not being friendly. But imagine if this kind of contact and relationship was year-long, that we actually established dialogue where our problems and situations and frustrations were actually discussed in a community and actually well thought out solutions are actually proposed and promoted. We also need a society that motivates more equality in all shapes and forms. The second system that we need to change is our economy. The economy that we have right now is inefficient, and it has proven time and time again to be a failed system. We need to come up with something better and more efficient, etc. The system that we've got right now basically nurtures a system where a very small portion of society oppresses the other. When people say that everybody has access to a certain kind of wealth, it's a fallacy. We have kept a system very closed, very inaccessible to the mass, and we need to create a system where opportunities and potentiality is allowed for everybody. Also, paper and the dollar and currencies, digital era is going to move us into Bitcoin or something like that. But every system that I'm saying that is going to fail eventually, either we are proactive and try to come up with creative ideas of when it happens, we are ready, or we go into the wave of it's going to crash and we're not ready. So the economical system right now has to be stronger than just rhetoric. Right now it moves up and down and stuck by just kind of some dialogue that we're listening in some of the stream media. There's a book that it's called After Capital. And if you haven't read it, go ahead and look for it, because it really talks about our economical system, its failures, how it is that we're going to move into something more inefficient, and we need to be ready for that. The author is my mentor, Albert Wenger. When I worked with Albert, I basically was mentoring or guiding his 14-year-old daughter, very bright young girl. She has a bright future. But what I admired and I learned about this system that Albert and his wife established of homeschooling is that the homeschooling was in a very well organized, enabling system way, where the system will establish certain guidelines, but it will enhance our creativity and freedom in order to achieve our full potential. Because if you establish such a closed systems, then you're closing the potentiality of creative ways of exploring and new things. The other system that we need to reassess is corporate America. I love what Oprah Winfrey once said: do not worry about being successful or profitable. Worry about being significant. And that's something that I strive for, and that's the reason I started this blog anyway. As you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I have established 3 companies, 2 very successful and 1 a very good lesson. But I really find that time and time again, whenever you pursue honorable, cooperative approaches, you are more successful, therefore more profitable. The society of the future needs to look into corporations in order to establish these small businesses that actually fuel the economy, to think about correct and wrong, to fix a problem in society, to provide a legacy after time. If you establish a vision in your company around those honorable, humble principles, I assure you that you're going to have a successful business. Businesses that are founded upon collaboration, peace, love, helping others, they tend more to go towards success. We are going towards change. We can go prepared or unprepared. And if we start thinking about what we need to change about our economy, about our society, about our corporations, and about our political system, we need to start thinking more about our own freedom, but what kind of responsibilities we want to take up on once we receive that freedom. Okay guys, so I want to finalize my blog and conversation with you with positive notes of a former Buddhist monk wrote. It's called The Art of Power, and I cannot pronounce the name of the author. The quotes that I'm about to read are in terms of what suggestions I do see that we need to pursue, what kind of guidelines are the ones that we need to follow through in order to create better institutions and therefore a better future. And, I'm going to read one quote in terms of government, and it says like this, quote, "If we think, speak and act only along party lines, we operate like a machine without insight, without understanding, without compassion. We should be led by our understanding, insight, and collective understanding that we receive from our workplace and the people who have voted for us." Listen, we've talked so many times about the political system right now, and it is in the bullseye right now. And I do believe that imagine that kind of government when they actually represent us and people do care. And it's not small interests and diverse interests. And I talked to you about replacing competition with collaboration. How does that look like in terms of companies? Quote, "If the leaders of corporations get together and practice looking deeply into the situation of the world to develop the products that best serve society, they will be able to devise mutually beneficial policies and working conditions. If they become sensitive to the suffering of humankind and the suffering of other species, they'll be able to come together without fighting." Wouldn't that be nice? You know, at some point I established a company that it was a liaison between companies in the United States, Mexico, and Brazil. And that was complex enough. But I often saw that when a company would end, the other one would start. In other words, what one company desperately needed in that overseas, the other one had, and it was like a mutually beneficial relationship for all parties involved, both companies, but also the end user and their governments. And I do believe that we need to change the fixation that if somebody else succeeds, therefore they take from my success. That's completely a fallacy. My definition of progress is to be happy, to be really happy. You know, one of the parts of the United States Constitution that I like the best is the part of the pursuit of happiness. We often forget about that part. You know, we do all the others. 3 virtues are required if we are to be true leaders. The virtue of cutting off, the virtue of loving, and the virtue of insight. Basically what he's saying is you gotta be able to know what to cut off at what time. The other book that I love is The Dip. You know, the marketing guru Seth wrote this book, and he says we often talk about success like never quit, never quit. But he found in his book, and his premise in the book, The Dip, is basically saying that leaders and successful people have known the difference between experiencing a valley, you know, when you have the highs and lows in business and then you're on the low, but you know you're going up and you got to push harder. Successful people discern between going through a valley into a failure and with a failure venture. They know how the difference, how one looks like, you know, the valley, and how a failure venture looks like. And quitting at the right time sometimes is the smart thing to do and the hardest thing to do. Right or wrong, action can be determined by using the single criterion of suffering or non-suffering. Whatever causes suffering in the present or the future for ourselves and people around us is the wrong thing to do. When we understand that we're all interconnected and the happiness of the other will be reflected on me, then our institutions will be a lot more robust, way more long-term thought out, guarantee you profitable. But we need to change our frame of minds and hearts. Thank you for everything. I hope to see you soon next week. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And also, if you want to be more informed about what my whereabouts are in New York City, please visit my website, susieofficial.com, and subscribe to my friends list. Thank you and namaste.